喂，抱歉，刚刚拖了有点久，在弄一些设定什么的。大家安，晚上好，晚上好。我记错开台时间了，我以为今天晚上是9点，然后我就8点半的时候才开始就是，不是8点的时候我就开始慢慢在那边做封面，然后看一下，然后就，我才发现我选今天是8点开台，我抱歉。对，反正我开台了。谢谢王安晚上好，苍蝇魂安晚上好，落雨安晚上好，南瓜安晚上好，你怎么啦？以璇安晚上好，米安晚上好，B B 安，山山讲过了吗？山安晚上好，没有讲过，对不起。郑一晨安，大家安晚上好，晚上好。然后我现在其实有在等，就是上一次我在旅游杂谈的时候有来 Hiroshi 这样子，对，因为。我好像有寄 email 给他，但是他没有回，所以我没有办法把我从日本带回来的礼物送给他，这样。对，所以就如果等下 Hiroshi 有出现在聊天室里面的话，我可能会再跟他讲一下，说问他有没有收到我的信啊，或什么之类的这样子。你道歉肯定是要没有人要看，没有人要看那种东西 ，no， 没有人要看那种东西。对，然后前2天联动我自己觉得蛮好玩，但是玩的蛮累的。可是怎么样？哦，我真是前两天就很早就睡着了，不知道为什么就觉得好累哦，然后就一直在那边疯狂睡觉。所以今天呢，我应该就会悠闲的照自己的步调来玩我自己想要玩的游戏这样子。对，然后明天的话，再看我会不会突发吧。虽然我这边发生一件事情，不过已经无关紧要，我会努力看书。你那边怎么了？在正义城那边怎么了？发生什么事情啊？而且为什么已经无关紧要？那之前是做了什么事情啊？喝口水，等我一下。好，我可以了。对，今天想要玩这款游戏，其实它不算是新游戏，它其实在去年的时候就发售了，但因为那时候它只有英文版。然后我最近看到游戏在打折，我就想说，哦，这游戏又打折了，我点进去看，然后发现，哦，它居然有更新中文了，所以我就超级期待，然后就把这游戏买下来了。然后这次就想一起来看外面什么样子吧。那我们就直接去游戏版那边了。等我一下，要伸个懒腰。我伸个懒腰啊。然后我们去游戏版那边，这样可以吗？它会太大，但是你要小一点。大家是在看公主，不是在看你的。这样子啊，这个大小应该差不多。好，我先关掉 BGM，然后等一下，我来开游戏哦。有开起来吗？而且我觉得不用努力看直播啦，轻松的看就好了。努力看直播感觉好累哦，我自己都觉得好累了。不用努力看轻松看直播就好了，为什么游戏开不起来？但是要展现玩游戏时候的气质的吗？没有，我只是，我今天真的是想很 chill 的玩我自己的那个，就是没有特别想要干嘛或者怎么样之类，就是很 chill，就是慢慢玩这样。有了。这游戏就还有内容警告 ，OK。本作是恐怖游戏，不适合所有玩家。如需警告特定内容的话，警告清单请至我们的网站。是有警告内容警告清单，所以我去他的网站会有那个吗？无论您在这些黑暗空间经历了何等恐怖的体验，请鼓起勇气见证最后的结局。故事绝不会草率收场，选择没有对错，只是展开新开始的视角。本作是爱情故事。谓之为安晚上，原来这是恐怖游戏，这是爱情故事，这是爱情故事。你有看到这个小鼠标吗？它是一个什么怪物的手这样，我可以让扣你们这样，扣，没有啦。对，本作是爱情故事，所以会怎么样我也不知道。我先来调一下设定好了，音量什么的，你会觉得太大声太小声的话，再跟我讲，我再看我要怎么调。 未阅读，跳过未阅读文字哦，这是可以的意思吧？快捷显示，然后控制辅助功能，辅助功能有什么东西啊？文字大小调整，我该调大一点吗？我该不可以把字调大一点？那你应该看比较清楚，最大也要多大啊？哦，有点太大了。等一下，大概这样吧，我觉得大概这样差不多。病娇的爱情故事也很恐怖耶。行距调整到这边吗？行距好像也可以大一点点吧？不是小一点，小一点，不要太大。响度自动语音，这不知道哎，不然我们先调为大好了。高对比文字，高对比启用怎样？哦，不用，这太影响，这样就好，应该这样就可以了吧？自动语音这。哦，就是它会帮我念出来，是不是？自动语音的部分，好，那我们就不用。字幕语言，我们就反中吧。我们应该没有对岸的朋友吧？应该不用用简中吧？我们用反中，然后我看一下啊，载入偏好设定，这就 OK。控制什么？键盘滑，我可以用游戏控制器玩吗？看一下键盘的话是这个样子，就基本上控制器的话嘞。好，我们先来看看好了，到时候我再看我用哪个玩会比较顺一点。好，那我们就开始吧。Ready go. Chapter 1: The Hero and the Princess. 第一章啊。
You're on a path.
哦，还有语音呢。
And at the end of that path is a cabin.
你会不会看不到字啊？
And in the basement of that
可能要把你们这调小一点。
is a princess.
可能在旁白上面这样，这样你们可以看得到字吧？这样可以动。在森林里有一条小径，在小径的尽头有一间木屋，而木屋地窖有一位公主。看下这边就可以开始那个了设定，然后字会太小吗？我们先存个档啊，先存个档。这是什么？哦，对话记录，快进，这应该是自动吧？哦，我们用自动来玩好了。我任务是屠杀他。如果不杀他，世界就会灭亡。哦，我要回他吗？世界会灭亡在说什么？你曾想过公主毁灭就是因为你们囚禁她？探究，杀死，太多了吧？好，我看一下，杀死公主似乎不是良善之举吗？不能由其他人来做这件事吗？我怎么都不想干。你想过世界也许可以接受毁灭吗？做这件事有奖赏吗？谢谢你告诉我。太棒了！我一直想要杀死王公贵族，革命万岁！不发语，转身离开。太多了吧？那我们就一个一个来吗？还是我们要从如果我不杀他会怎么样啊？我不知道。如果不发语的前往，跟转身离开，好，那我先选第一个。我们从第一个开始。如果世界会灭亡，在说什么？好，这个。
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all,
没有人类。
no more people. You have to put an end to her.
我一定要取她性命哦！哇，还有这么多选项哦！哇，你如果这每一个都是有一定分支的话，那很那个哎。但困在地窖公主整个毁灭世界，如果你不说出她危险的原因，我才不杀她。你有证据吗？你曾想过他会毁灭世界，就是因为这边好像都一样吧？他似乎不是善良之举，不是吗？不能由其他人来做吗？我看一下，好像都差不多。听着，我会进去木屋和其他谈谈。如果他真的说你这么邪恶，或许我会杀他。但在见到之前，我不会做任何承诺。好吧，你说服我了。好，谢谢你告诉我。虚竹安没有，我没有成为公主。好吧，那我们一样先选1之1好了，就是第一个这样。
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
好像是 OK， 好，我好像可以继续问，是不是？那你有证据吗？
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far. You might as well reach the end of your journey.
好像可以把游戏调大声一点，因为是蛮好听的啊。你曾想过公主会毁灭，就是因为你们囚禁她了吗？
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
等一下啊。
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
这么硬哦！
You do your job and slay her.
除非我杀了他，不然我就那个，这不是良善之举吗？不能由其他人来做这些事情吗？我是不是快没时间了？所以探究的话，可以引发更多的对话。但是这些没有探究括号的，可能就直接去做了这些事情了。好，那我再问一下好了。想都别想。
No, you have to do it. Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress?
我觉得他在教育我，怎么办
If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
不能由其他人来做这件事情吗
If only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off.
我目前还可以接受，因为我觉得他讲的蛮有道理的。
The rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
他讲的目前还蛮有道理，至少我觉得我可以被接受。你有想过，或许我可以接受世界灭亡
Of course
吗
I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
这游戏好好练音听哦！我的天啊，做这件事情会有奖赏吗？
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
但我必须要除了他才可以得到他啊！你可以透露什么是奖赏吗？
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward.
特别的
just
奖
for
赏。
you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better.
他保证好到超乎想象的奖赏了。好，我们把前面的对话性都那个了。等一下，听着我或许会杀他。第一个是或许我会杀他，但真的之前我不敢保证这样子。好啦，我会进木屋。好，你说服我了，我们完成这项任务吧。好，谢谢你告诉我该怎么做，不发语，还有我可以转身离开，我可以直接走哎。那如果我转身离开会怎么样？还是我们先见公主一趟呢？好，那我就或许好，我们先或许好。
I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning: if you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies.
他可以骗
The
我
more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us.
然后我们就全部都完了。
So sure, go talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path
我
to
到
the cabin.
我到了公主的木屋了。
You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save
对啊，我们应该拯救
princesses,
公主啊，
not
不是
slay
屠杀她。对啊。
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
不要理他，他不知道胡说什么。那个刚是一个什么旁白跟英勇的旁白这样子。
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
我要完成，我需要吗？我可以直接进去，跟不要可以拿了匕首再进去，跟不要拿匕首进去哦。那拿一
You
下
take
好
the
了。
blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
看 BGM 直接变了。好，我们就进入地窖吧。我们先存个档。
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
哇，还有这样子的事情
Her voice carries up the stairs.
哦，公主的声音传上来了。
Who's there?
哦，公主的声音有人吗？
She
公主的声音，
dangerous.
英勇的
It's
声
almost
音
as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the
声音也
manipulation.
是操弄人心的一环。我可以跟他说你好，我只是来探望的，我是在取你命的，跟继续下楼。我只是来探望你的，好了，不然就你好吗？我觉得你好好，你好 ，Hi。
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors.
为什么这
Come on down.
公主讲话像女巫一
You
样
walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
？Are you here to kill me or something？ 不能不能每次给我这么多选项哎，我有你是要准备杀了我吗？还是另有目的呢？我只是在和你谈话，我还没决定，我只是在和你谈话，我还没决定好。
How about you drop the knife?
你不如放下
and the
刀
two
子
of
再来
us
谈呢。
just Talk.
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the
有个
blade
英勇
and
的
talk
声音一
things
直叫我
out.
放下刀子，英勇的声音在帮
Don't
公
you
主
dare.
旁白
It's
叫我不要
fine.
做傻事
We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
英勇是谁？我不知道英勇是谁。放下匕首跟握得更紧，不然我们先放下匕首嘛。可是他被绑住，他应该不能对我怎么样吧？不然我们先放下匕首。
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
We'll be fine.
我们不会有事。英勇声音说我们不会有事
to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reason.
你无法跟公主讲理。
Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
瑞贝木
So
安
here，we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
干我不知道怎么回太多选项了吧？十分对啊，这十分怪异。你在暗示什么吗？我要怎么带你离开？我来是因为你会毁灭世界。外面有人认为你会毁灭世界，有什么要狡辩的吗？你叫什么名字？你叫什么名字？你在这里多久了？你知道我为什么来杀你？好，我们谈够了。迪月安，你叫什么名字？
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
靠腰，这游戏好那个哦，好探究心灵哦，好烦哦，就是有一种缘分。你在不我看一下，我记得有一个你在这边多久了？对，
Too long.
太久了。
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
那旁白一直在阻止我，旁白就只是希望我把他杀掉而已。你在暗示什么
Don't
吗
jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
外面有人说你会毁灭世界，不要直接告诉他哦！啊，不能直接告诉他哦！
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be
如
capable
果我
of
能毁灭
ending
世
the
界，我怎么会
world,
沦落到
then how
这个
did
地
I
步
wind
呢
up？ here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so
看，
dangerous?
我动摇了，作为一个杀手，我动摇了。如果我改变话题，我还可以改变话题。如果我放走，你要做什么？好，
Princess hesitates before responding.
She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think I can answer that
我
question.
没有想到这游戏会有这么多
the way
让我
you
挣扎的
do.
选项。
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point.
对啊，他讲的有道理啊。他们其实并没有说服我怎么要把你杀掉啊，对，没有错啊。他也甚至不告诉我奖励。
I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind
一切都是
trust.
基于信任，无条件的信
So
任。
do you trust me?
所以你相信我没有
The victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world. Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust.
信任不是真的，
This is
危险
about
才是。
risk.
为什么？所以
We
开始恋爱
stand
不对啊
to lose everything,
我们要冒着
all for the sake of one
我们冒着失
person
去一些风险，为了一
and
个
a
货真价实的
subjugating
暴君。
monarch, no less.
一个是我怎么带你离开，一个好了，我们谈够了。我要怎么带？哦，我觉得还是有点危险啊！
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
送公主上路，救她！我会确保你继续带这个地窖持续一段时间，我可以深入对你认识，直到我拿定主意，继续锁着公主。她不能够给我每一条路的选项，哎，这样我要怎么？哦，我先存档。我们先把公主杀掉好了。我们先把她杀掉好了，我会救你出去调查链条，跟我会把你再关在这边一段时间，再对你多调查。我决定我要先杀掉她一次看看。
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
啊，我输了，为什
She
么？
casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground.
她
with
一
a
击就直
single
接把我打倒
blow
了
from。her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few
啊
times.
啊！他有
with
他有他的
knife,
斜肩，为什么我手是
her
这
shoes
怪物的手，
feeling
还是我原本就是个怪物？
against your fracturing bones,
啊
making
明天
sure
出安
you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat.
靠，你被这样锁了，你还这么
Kind of
强
weight
哦
you？ didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand.
啊，我本来占了上风。
And now look at you.
Is
Yeah,
this
man.
really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little
你们这样不是看不到
disappointed.
字幕啊？
She applies more
就
pressure,
公主的字幕这样
slowly。squeezing what's left of your life out
那
of
不然我把
your
你们字幕往下放
lungs.
吗？
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
我就这样死掉了。啊啊！
On a path in
要
the
闯到
woods,
再一次哦。
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
等一下，我会再杀他一遍。我有种既视感
terrible
啊！
sense of deja vu.
这
No,
是我们
you
第一
don't.
次来到这里。
This is the first time either of us have been here.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can
崩
do
溃
to
的声
stop
音
her.
又多了一个崩溃的
She's
声音
just。going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time
如果我一开始就
second-guessing
直接把他杀掉，会怎么样？
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I.
我们假设我说的话是实话，而这一切没有发生，为什么我们要这么大费周章做任何事呢？
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time,
which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body
那
before
个
she
崩溃的声音是
decided
怎样
to
啊？
let
哎呦，
us
好
die.
好难过
What
哦。
were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of,
Oh,
what's
that-
the point of doing anything?
崩溃是第一次的
You're
我
asking
吗？
that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous
对，
assumption
上一个是英勇，然后
your
现在变崩
actions
溃
last
了。
time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean?
哎
Of course there
但
weren't
英勇
any
的声音还在啊。
consequences. The princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
但是我们目前只知道公主的体术
If
超
it's the
强而已啊。
latter, what do you think happened after you died?
我认为
Do
你
you
死后
think
发
the
生
people
的
there
事
lived。
哦，
happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she
可是我只死了一次而已，
If
那
she
不
ended
是我
the
不至于崩
entire
溃吧
world,？why
如果他
should
毁了
we
小木屋，那怎么办？
We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains.
我
and
们应该
let
直接
her
放了
do
他吗？
whatever she wants.
这个崩溃声音是我们应该直接放了他，反正最后结果都一样。
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of
哇
those things，
这
can
个
be
旁白还
true
在
at the same
还在帮崩溃的我加油打气吗？
time. I believe in you.
那我们来谈谈这位
Just be
公主
quick
吗？
about it.
长话短说吧，嗯。
People locked her in that basement, and like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you
因为我没
didn't
听
listen
他，
to
所以我
me.
进去把公主。OK， 好。她只是个公主，怎么会强到赤手空拳把我打死啊？
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just
直接进去就好了吗？
head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine. Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're
或
capable
者我
of
们可以直接
doing
投诚
anything
吧
in this situation.
哦，
She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism?
我可以不要那么悲观
just a smidge?
我可以不要官方吐
I'm
槽
not。being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being
对啊
annoying.
旁边只想我去
Just
直接去
ignore
杀他而已
their
啊，
bickering, and whatever you do,
千万
don't
别投诚
pledge
哦。
yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
居然能把他关起来，他们为什么没办法屠杀他？
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're
他说了不该
special.
说的话，因为我很特别。
You're the only
I'm the
person
special one.
capable
Oh.
of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Who cares if you think we're special?
好吧，你对隐瞒
Told
什么
you
事情吗？
everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just less you know about her.
你
the
对我了解
better.
越少越好。我对公主了解越少越好。
Now, if you
OK，
don't
好，
mind,
那就前往木屋
a
吧。
warning before you go any further. She will lie.
公主会
She will
说谎
cheat.
伪装，
She
并
will
尽
do
其一切
everything
的
in
让
her
阻
power
止
to
我杀
stop
了
you
她。
from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
不要相信他任何一句话。
Cheating? Why would she even bother? She
说谎
didn't
欺骗
need
他
to
比
do
多，他
anything
根本不，
like
他
that
上次根本
last
不需要这么做。
She
哦，
caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's
这是我
just
们要
keep
随
our
机应
wits
变。
about us. At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
前往木屋吧。我知道我之前还没有
If
选择
that's
过离
what
开
you。want, I guess I don't have a say here.
就是一样也有匕首吧。
The interior of the cabin is
但是
larger
不完全
and
不
more
一样啦
grandiose than
What the
its
fuck?
physical
Huh?
exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
这跟第一次完全不一样啦。这是一个小屋里面放得了的东西吗？
You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
对啊，镜子是怎样
That's？ because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
这里没有
There's
镜子。
definitely a mirror.
对啊，
There isn't. Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway. For what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything. Probably.
大概
He knows.
啊，他的镜子是有的，我在意我被骗，这里有镜子，我想看自己有多帅，我想看镜子有多帅，请不要这个样子。我那个
Okay, less about what we look like and more about
我不知道我不能用看的镜子吗？那镜子好让人在意哦。
As a mirror, what else is he hiding from us? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie?
他一直说没有镜子啊，可是我就看到镜子了。我先。
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
我们先靠近镜子，我们应该可以靠近镜子之后拿起匕首吧？靠近镜子。
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall.
这是一面墙。
Isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
我可以把镜擦干净。
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how.
为什么我是只怪物啊？
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
拿起匕首。
Blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
好，我们去见公主吧。 OK， 这次连楼梯就比较高大上了。下方飘来一股香味耶。
The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lived, her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
来，公主声音来了。
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
我们必须去见她。
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago, it doesn't matter what that little voice says.
继续下楼吧。
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you.
这已经不是公主了吧？这是女神了吧？等一下，哈
？The chain is nothing to her.
啊
It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants.
这是女神吧？这
You brought that knife again, even though you know it's
还是因为我上次失败了之后的具象化。飞跃安，晚上好。
Drop it.
握得更紧。上次我放下，我觉得我吃亏了。握得更紧。
From command, the blade slips from your grasp.
哎，我玩到那个了吗？
Clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to
对，玩握
grip
紧
tighter,
啊。
remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is,
但事实是我放下了匕首吗？
Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. Oh, I understand what's going.
Kneel.
跪下。不。
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Legs buckle and your knees hit.
这已经是女神了吧？这打得赢吗？这根本杀不死吧？
Good little bird.
这根本杀不死吧？
Why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me.
我根本不知道它是怎么了，好不好？
The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, then you shouldn't have trusted us. He's being melodramatic, but he's okay.
我们得先把悲观的想法塞到某个遥远的地方，然后认份的完成自己的使命。该大家非常清楚啊，想要拯救世界啊，必须要自己突破困境啊。未战先确实没有胜算，没有错，没有错哈。所以我看一下，你想要我怎么做？我计划是什么？在我死后，我还可以问他哦，我还可以叫他投诚哦，看一下。
Is break these chains and set me free.
对啊，如果你那么强大，为什么不自己破坏所要
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can easily. But that is
但我不想这样做，为什么？它差别在哪里
The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am or everything
你还想到这？你还想到未来跟以后的世人怎么说你的？
It isn't even worthy of what I was.
是这样，为什么
The
以后
destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake.Is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity.
琉璃安，晚上好。
The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must
我认真讲，我
deliver
觉得这很有
me
临场
into
感，
the
这游戏
world.
蛮可怕的。
And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now.Submit later. It makes no difference.
我的意志终将凌驾于你之上。
You struggle against me. My will triumphs over yours.
你注定要毁灭世界，但不代表你真的要这么做。你可以创自己的未来。在我下决心之前，我有问题要问你：在我死后，你经历了什么？为什么我不会帮助你毁灭世界？这个。
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am.And I have little know the limits of your privilege.
修得僭越小鸟，这不能问吗？
If you'll have it, but it is not a place for an equal.
只剩2个了，一个是我投，一个是我听你的，跟我不会帮你毁灭世界的。好，我不会帮你毁灭世界的。
I say.Perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters.
干，我要死了吗？
Pick up that needle.
什么时候有针啊？
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but
但我们不妨捡起匕首。所以对他来说，那根针就是匕首吗
？Your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses.But then manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
哇，前面都没有了。捡起匕首。
Reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah.
起身。
You feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand.
要用刀划我自己的喉咙哦！你不是要用人吗？啊？
You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
终结这一切，我感觉这个我按了，我会砍我自己耶！哈？可是我也只能按这个，我也没选项了吧？
Oh, we'll end this all right.
黄玉玲安，晚上好。
The blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
我想上，自杀跟送公，我还可以抵抗，我只可是抵抗是黑的。为什么抵抗是黑的？自杀，送公主上路，我要送公主上路吧。
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems
这本来是仁慈之举，不过你有更痛的东西让我尝试了吗？用刀刺穿自己的肺部吧。
I'm sorry. Don't. As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh growth. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have.
对啊，我不需要听他的啊，我可以不要再刺自己了吗？
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it.
我在努力，以我的声音在努力了。
Your other hand locks around your wrist,
加油！
struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs.
但是我一直在砍自己
Towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the
快点加油啊！我的左手，快点阻止我的右手砍自己，快点！
pain. You manage to keep yourself in one
不要啊！
piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to.
可以选择，我可以选，我不行，我蛮喜欢我现在这个皮的，不要了。
You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
我还是可以选择送公主上路这我还可以选择，我要送公主上路。
You can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will. You're the one making things
Stop.
住手吧
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees.
怎么办？突然觉得公主有点香，怎么
Your
办？
chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with
她
her
抬起我下巴
finger，as her
低头看，
face
低头看着我，
Your devotion is misplaced.
早已屈服于幻想之中，但你的不屈真启发了我，我不再是以前那个自己了，什么意思？
You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
That's a little demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her. It's a mercy. Take it.
这是他的慈悲
I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this. At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance.
对啊，我们现在可以一刀把他喉咙割开的吧？
She knows you
应该可以
have
吧
what it takes to put an end to.
我好像选中间这个，可是我不能选送公主上路，送公主上路。崩溃声音很不
Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you,
我割开很机械的吗？
into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance. She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart
我将匕首刺到她的胸口了，这是我成功了吗？
blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once slowly.
晚上晚上好。
Your blade cuts her flesh.
为什么？
Do this.
为什么你在笑？我
You
说
always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up.
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You.
我
You were.
这个异教徒，你真是臭虫！
You don't know the consequences.
哦，你不知道我会给你带来什么样的？哦天啊！哦，我做错了吗？
The final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet
哦，他这样给我一拳哦，那我就脊椎就断裂了。
numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest.
啊
Your body is crushed
啊！
as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the end. You lie there, broken, beyond pain.
不过公主
unable
也
to
很重
even
伤
see
了
what
啊。
she's done to you.
对啊，我直接没了，我就这样一击被公主的拳头给贯穿了。到底为什么要我来挑战这种怪物啊？
Abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
咱那把刀是有毒吗？
Conspirators. I
那把刀啊？
bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated.
Aside from the pain, she collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together. I suppose we were never gonna get a happy ending.
我杀死公主了！我刚刚得到一个成就叫弑神者
Your，final thoughts. You saved the world.
我拯救了世界
That's
啊
worth！something, I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you.
好，我又死了
Everything goes
啊？为什么
You die.
？The Fury Chapter 3 The Fury 啊，怒火，这是三小
On a path in the woods.
啊
And at the end of the path, okay, what the hell is that?
啊！崩溃的声音还在
I，think he's upset.
英勇的声音也还在，
And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god.
执傲的声音又多了一个声音了。
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever will be.
Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us, and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed. All right.
好多声音哦，等一下好多声音哦，等一下
Got a
啊
thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great. You're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a. If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her, and it's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it?
哦，这是哪里啊
If？the world around you is
这
changing,
就是这个改
especially
变
all
啊
the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return.
你都得接受不会重来的机会了啊
That's！it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
哦，我的脑袋有看一下，看一下，全听我的吧
Speaking
啊
my mind, it's not like I.
What a crock of yeah. It didn't even work. We don't. You did the aside from us.
好，这就是跟着看一下啊。
Then what happened? Yeah, but how am I supposed to know? It doesn't matter. Now that's exactly.
方程，我看一下，所以我们就只能够再去一次木屋了，是吧？是这样吧？
Good. We're all on the same page.
这是什么
It
啊
isn't？long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within.
对啊，我要先跟自己开会吗？天哪，
End her.
每死一次增加一个声音哦。
No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things. Maybe if we just grovel and apologize, things can go
也许我们只要道歉就可以挽回一切。哇，这个真的很窝囊哎
Cut。it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be. So stop whining.
啊，前往吧。
The interior of the cabin is a place.
对啊，
that
这是
feels
宫殿又
long
不一样了
forgotten. There
啊
was。once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns
这
holding a high
是不是只有
arched
镜
roof,
子啊？
vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A
这
viscous
是一个
fluid
对游戏也说这是一个爱
seeps
情
into
故
the
事
stone
啊
walls,。and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
你为什么上次没有提到
A
镜子？
mirror? There is no mirror. There's
他又说没有镜子啊
done。this already. Try to keep up. The repetition is
可是我
mad.
看就是有镜子啊。
I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely. What are you trying to say exactly?
He thinks we've lost it. That we're succumbing.
That's an unnecessarily melodramatic. It went away after we touched it last time. Let's just
先靠近镜子
You
好了，
step
就是不
forward
拿
and
匕首
approach
这样
the
子。
door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it.
他说前面是门
You
哦
really
啊
don't,，do you? How strange. It really is just like last time.
Are we really gonna smash it? Smash it.
Don't you want to know what we'll see in there?
We won't be able to see anything if we smash it.
Now, then, this one. Smash it. Let's get violent already. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how
把镜子擦干
you
净好了
reach。forward and drag your hand
Oh,
across the
这样
door
子门就
leading
出
to
来
the
了。
basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor.
这
its
次
ancient
我没有带
hinges
匕首。
moaning as it reveals
Oh.
the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high-vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my
破坏我
ascension
肌
not
腱
enough
逼
for
得我
you?
退下的
Was
啊
it！not enough to rend my divine
他还
heart?
记得上次的东西耶。
Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat. See how you've soured my once divine melody.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good. She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination. And we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
She was going to end the world last time. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here. And it's why your task is so important.
哦，我们去看看公主长什么样子吧。
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
哦，
The chamber's walls are painted in blood.
看他还是整的样子哦。
Sickling red that
啊
drips down，
这我没有想到哦。
streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going
你知道我要对你做什么吗？
There's not so much a moment of hesitation
Oh.
before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. Then, with a
Oh.
nauseating sound, the skin tears. It
哦，
drops
他
to
直
the
接
ground.
他直接把手臂抽出来
Pulls
了
her。red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose.
哦，他来杀了我了吗？
Let her end it. It's the punishment.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before, and we'll do
看，
it
我就应该带刀子啊！
We don't even have a weapon. It doesn't matter. I
I refuse to go out any way that isn't kicking and screaming.
请先听我说，你经历了什么？你经历了什么？
You happened, but none of that matters. We're together again, and I'll have my pound of flesh.
She bounds across the room, her fists ready.
越来越近了，越来越近了。
On your destruction. With a horrifying squelch.
我死掉了！等一下啊！我应该要选你先听我说，是不是？
No, that's our stuff. She can't just do that. She just did. Unfortunate, I know, but reality is reality.
You should all just be.
We're not out for the count, but we didn't even bring a weapon.
No weapon this time? It's almost as if you were planning on dying here. As if I'd grant you such a mercy. No.
不直接反击吗？我刚刚以为我可以先跟他谈一谈呢。我以为我可以跟他谈呢。我连我连谈的本钱都没有吗？
This will hurt you.
Something infiltrates you. Though you do not see it, you feel it, slithering into your disaster of a body, seeping into the gaps between your molecules. The body of a sapient creature has, on average, 30 trillion cells. And each one of those cells is composed of 100 trillion some odd. One of those cells.
10个细胞剥下100兆。
Are you still there? Are you still you?
Yes. Then two are peeled away.
然后被剥除，我记得是4个。
This is nothing. 8, 16.
他在慢慢抹杀我的细胞吗？
64.
Whatever is happening.
没有，这游戏的方向太多了，多到我觉得什么事都可以发生那种感觉。
128.
Are you still there? Are you still you?
1024. 2000.
I feel small.
16,003. You can't just count us into oblivion.
我不能做点什么吗？
31. What happens when it gets higher?
是不是预告发生什么事？
Nothing. Just
But something is happening now.
我们体内某分子在异化，开始一点一点的越来越多了。
Something that started small but that keeps.
我就应该拿武器啊！
1,048,000. The hundreds don't matter anymore.
Are you still there? Are you still you?
2,090,000.
Don't like this. Waiting for something to happen.
16,768,000.
哎呦，为什么他也在怪怪？他在把他的身体拉到我的身体里面吗？
Are you still there? Are you still you?
There's the pain. I can feel it now. But we can handle this. We can't let her win.
We can't hand.
268 million. We don't need to count anymore. Your lungs fill with liquid. You smell things you shouldn't.
哦，这已经不像公主了
You choke on pieces of
哦。
what used to be you. Doesn't matter. You are
我被重组了啊，长出了很多
you
啊
are。reconstructed. A square you, a round you. A you
方形的、
with
圆形的，
two
长了很多脚的我
A，you with
长出了不同很多嘴巴的我
mouths
哦。
screaming. Then all of it pressed into a
然后
ball
接着被压成一个球体啊，变成一颗拳头的大小啊。
of a fist. What does you even mean anymore? We just keep changing into horrible. You means we exist. There has
我
to
们还有
still
其他
be
可以
a
获
way
胜的
for
方
us to-
法。
You're right about one.
Are you still there? Are you still you?
Yes. The ball is unraveled into the shape of a body. The skin peels off in a
哇
pulse.
天哪，我都不知道该说这幅画恶心，还是该说这幅画美丽了。哇，他其实画的很精致，可是哦，
Are you still there? Are you still you?
我怎么觉得公主开始在帮助我这种感觉啊？
You are stretched into a line.
哦，我被拉得很
Are
细很
you
长。
still there?
60. 60. No. And then, all at once, there is a great rewinding, and all of the disparate threads that once were you fall dutifully back
那
into
我想
place.
我狗呆了吗？
You are whole again, and in your
我
body,
回归了啊
the，same body you were
身体恢复成刚抵达时的样貌
The
啊
princess。stands before you, her dress of skin more tattered than before, her face sullen.
It's all hollow. I ripped you to pieces. I broke your will.
他突然
It
怜悯
means
我了
nothing.
啊！
I am forever a piece unfinished. A song with no refrain.
啊！干 看他怎么突然对我这么温柔，我会觉得很讶异。你要么就把我杀了吧，大大。DBU 兵晚上好。然后我有这么多选项，我都不能选。
We're so different. How could I ever hope for you to understand me?
你不能突然那么温柔哎。
Arms outstretched, neck craned, gaze transfixed on something unseen above you both.
But perhaps there is a way to grant you understanding. Perhaps there is a way to make
有没有可以让我再次回归完整？哦。
You are.
我又被割开啊！不，
different this time.
没有东西爬进我的细胞啊。
Slithers into your cells. You can feel something changing inside of you, but you see her changing too. Threads, strands of you, becoming pieces of something new, something that's both you and her. Oh no, absolutely not. You have to stop this. Do you hear me? You have to stop this.
啊？什么意思啊？已经无法挽回，你的意识逐渐向他飘去。啊
Yes, see me as I have had to see you.
你看着受伤孤独的心脏针立在中央，既熟悉又陌生。
This isn't right. I feel cold.
你似乎正在你们之间形成双方的结合过程戛然而止，为这个力量把你们拉开了，靠近镜子。万籁俱寂，注视镜子。是你啊！你独自在空无一切的房间四周悄然无声啊！我还可以前往木屋啊！你在木屋前啊，接近他，太抽象了。
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
你是啥
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
我是什么？你认为我是什么？
I think that you are like me.
他觉得我跟你一样。
Oceans reduced to shallow creeks.
我们缩减为浅溪，我们是缩减为浅溪的汪洋。赠予脆弱躯壳哈。
This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. There is passion and
假设那个是公主啊，她让你背负她的痛苦重担，却自顾自的解脱。她无情的平常下隐藏OK。所以其实公主一直都是公主，而我一直都是我吗？害我来取公主的性命的是你吗？这就是你不让我离开这里。你是公主吗？
She is part of
她是一部分的我啊。
and part of me is her.
我是一部分的她。
You speak in circles. How can the world have ended?
你认识旁白吗
You are the only- the
我只知道你
space
啊。
I have only just now stirred to conscious.
这是啥？我接下来呢？
As we
什么也
are.
做不了，但我知道我们的外外世界以及我们注定前往的世界，那个空间没有出口，但这副躯壳是直觉的造物，它可以消除你的记忆的，只要你相信它有这个能力。
Bring me more perspective.
再给我更多视角，让我得以完整。
And perhaps then we
你不知道找到方法杀了你吗？
have not lived.
我不是活物，我无惧死亡。我会留下多少记忆？半点不剩啊！我们要重新来过。如果不肯就范呢？
Will be here
我
forever.
们可能就永远留在这里了。
Here now.
我还需要多少碎片
More
啊
than you have found, but less than there. You ask of things that cannot. How can I know?
等一
If
下
you，need time. You are as I am now, and forever as long I am not you. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? If you close that box, will you become another? You'll always come back.
哇，这里好抽象哦。等一下，
Because you'll always.
我怎么了？游戏怎么了？游戏卡了吗？不要了，认真啊！游戏闪退了啊！ 我不会等下打开又要进去，然后面对那个手手吧？悬疑案晚上好啊！游戏真的闪，这是游戏闪退，他强制把游戏关掉吗？
You have returned to me.
啊！我就知道。
Though you were gone many
啊！
years, I never left your side.
我就知道，哎呦！除非我选择消除记忆，不然他我就知道是这种游戏，打破第3面墙的那种游戏。哎呦！那我也只能消除记忆啦。
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
他要转达请你记得他。哦，我死了。又是 Chapter 1的 Hero and the Princess 勇士与公主。
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
我重新开始了。
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
你可以按 Tab 或者是 R 跳过。我们直接拿起匕首，进入地窖。我现在是跳过状态，这样子。嗨，我是在取你性命的。我看一下啊，有人提到，哎呀。
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away.
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at Don't you dare. It's fine.
握得更
You
紧。
ignore the trembling in your hands.
如果在这一轮直接把他杀掉，怎么样
On the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be. I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it.
最建议我直接丢开刀子，不要冒险
She's
啊。
armed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. 确定公主没武器吗？ Positive.
我很肯定她没武器。
But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she
Hesitating.
我不会放下匕首
Then I'm
的
not，talking
那我
to
就不
you.
和你说话。瞪着
you
他，
stare at the princess, she squints back. The two of you are gonna do
狠瞪着他，
squint even
我
harder.
瞪得更用力
So
了
does。she.
然后嘞，
You're going to have
送过我们好吧，我们直接杀了他吧，因为我觉得他第一轮就已经很坏了，她不是个好公主。
You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A
公
blade
主
of
从
her own slips
匕
down
首
her
从公主的
sleeve
袖子
and
滑
catches
落
you in the neck.
啊！我直接死了吗？
Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with
他还有一
stripes
把
of
刀
red.
哦。
You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time.
完成任务。
With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
The two of you collapse on the floor together, rapidly.
然后我们
bleeding
俩都
out.
死掉了。
somehow, I thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder, do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
我就没有第二张不一样了，刀舞的 Razor。
You're on a path. You're here to.
这边我已经屠杀过了。
Assure you that you
我保证你还没
didn't
取他
slay
性
her
命
and that
他也
she
还没杀死
didn't
你
kill。you. If he doesn't remember what.
This whole thing's a crock of
受
shit.
骗的声
She's
音，
just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
他只再变出一把刀把我们刺
Yeah,
死
that's exactly what you told us last
我当
time.
时这样子，我问他
You
你
asked
是不
you
是有
if you
武
were
器？
sure
你说
she
肯
didn't
定
have
没
a
有
weapon。on her. You said
What?
you were positive she didn't. But it turns out.
结果呢，我们上去，然后我就被
When we
刺
charged
了
her, she started stabbing
这
us
的确是上次没有
to
错。
death.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job.
可是我们上次被
You'll do
骗
just
啦。
fine. Those are two very. Let's say for a moment you died. Sounds good. Congrats. And I believe your other. Had you failed to slay the princess, screw this. At least.
所以其实我第一次就应该要，我们来看这位公主。
Quick about it.
我第一次就应该要直接那个吗？我看一下啊。
People. Like I said, oh, and she just can't. Look. Oh.
这边感觉就好，先这样好了。好，那就走吧，走吧，前往木屋吧。
Before you go any further.
再提醒我啊，公主会伪装啊，这个我知道。
We know what to look out. Just stay.
前往木屋。好，我们来看这次应该会有杀吧。
The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken
这门是不是已经被打开来了？
Their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this.
你还是没有看到镜子吗？先拿起匕首好了。
The blade from the table. It feels a bit better to have.
然后靠近镜子。
Walk up to the wall next to the basement.
他还是说这是一个
It's a wall.
墙啊？
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall.
把镜子擦干净，它就变成镜子了，不，它就变成那个了，它变成墙壁了。
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing.
这次跟上次的不一样。
Because you so.
进入地窖。
The basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. That's right, scraping. I told you she has something, I told you. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get her grating voice.
I hope you've come to rescue me.
我好像是在拯救我，好像是自己被困一辈子了。这次声音完全不一样嘞。
So wrong with that voice. Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
早点休息。
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
她这是蛮正常的啦。
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that
对啊，
threatening edge
这
to her
太
voice.
太贼了，这个公主太形象化，就是一脸就很骗子一样啊。
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
太多选项了。我们上次杀死了对方。我知道你有一把刀。
A knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. Where would I keep a knife? And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you.
但是流汗。
You haven't given me a reason to stab you to death. It would be so silly of me to cut you open and look at your insides.
Okay, I could have sworn we didn't mention stabbing anyone to death. Sounds like she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed.
证明给我看啊！证明给我看。
It would be so much easier to prove that I do have a sharp object. I could just show it to you, but I don't have one, so I can't.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands.
把手拿出来嘞！
But look at this! Hands! Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with!
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
And empty sleeves, too! Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero.
可是你会不会藏在私密处呢？我选的这个它不会突然露底裤吧？如果我靠近你的话，你不会捅我吧？你还记得上次发生什么事情吗？我现在很信任你，但是你现在感觉很可疑。 我想谢谢你，但你感觉很可以，我可以把话讲开，我没有钥匙。他尾巴吗？你不然吃秘书好了。
I've shown you all of my hiding spots. What kind of princess do you think I am? I would never hide something sharp somewhere secret.
叫他转过来吧。
Wait, that sounds like a mine, but I'm
虽然说，但
actually
是说实
not.
话，我
My
的私密
secret
处是我
zones
个
are
人专
for
属。
me
也
only.
对
They
啦。
have nothing to do with you or my intention to not stab you to death the second you get close to me.
转身
Her
吧。
smile drops for a moment, her expression sharp.
I assure you, there's nothing hidden there.
Of course, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have.
你还记得上次发生的事
Last
情吗？
time,
有人闯入我
my
家
house and tried to kill me, and I cut his neck open, and then he stabbed me in the heart, and we both died looking in each other's eyes.
但是他其实是知道我杀死他的，他其实记得我的吧？
But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
但我不记得，所以
Talking
对啊
of。delusions about a past life experience. It's like the two of you are working together on this, aren't you? Listening. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something. Yes, something is obviously.
导致上次发生的事，所以你确实记得啊？对啊。
I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered happening didn't
这样我
happen
就能
just
再
so I
捅
could
死你一
stab
次
you
了。
again? I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
Aha! She slipped up there. She said again, and her taking it back doesn't count. Do you hear how deranged you sound right now?
我们上次杀死了对方，我们在想重蹈覆辙。
But if we killed each other, then why are we here, right now? Both of us normal and unstabbed. What? No! And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to.
在不会被捅的距离内救我出去。
I have absolutely zero. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab, but you know who is armed? But I'm no. All the more reason to jump.
哦哟，这要怎么选啦？不能那么多花样，也太多选择题了啦！哎呦，不能就像是大考一样，只给我4选1吗？如果我说我没有钥匙，他会不会生气啊？我没有钥
Oh,
匙
you。don't. Okay, I see. I have an idea. You should come over here and stare directly at the chain.
你先知道钥匙孔长什么样，才帮我找到钥匙。
If you don't know what it's supposed to look like,
所以赶快到可以看得清楚的距离吧。
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our.
大考也有12选项复选，可是这超过12啊，我觉得。 我觉得。
Oh, I'm sorry. You're acting like I entire, and maybe you should know. Fine, and we'll continue.
我觉得你很可疑。
So
Oh.
rude of you, passing judgment. Silly little bird face thinks she's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. I bet you didn't like that.
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your
如果你要把问题
questions,
全部
at
问一
least
遍，
get
至少
them
比约
stacked.
同时还要好。我们可以把话讲开吗？我会把什么话讲开？把话
We
讲开吗？
don't have anything to talk through. We're strangers and this place
Oh.
is cramped and annoying and you should just
然
come
后
over
删减
here
法吗？
and
这
let me
这
out.
这要怎么删减啊？
Okay, I'm
然后
bored
讲
now.
被吃了，你被吃掉什么？你
She's
说把它干掉，我看它不
bored?
爽吗？
That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner.
Oh.
In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps
Oh,
towards you,
what the
a blade
fuck?
erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all. How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains.
哦干
Those chains stop her
哦
from
干
continuing her，
哪有人
advance.
这样藏刀子的
At least
公
for a
主？
moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then she slices.
哦
through
别
her arm.
哦，你怎么？
Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it to do.
哦，我要跟他决斗吗？我完全无法匹敌，哇！我就是个逊咖。
You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless
但是我手被砍断了。
Before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense. She's even better at this than she was last time. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
With a squelch,
Oh.
she does just that.
Oh.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Oh. The armor race, 混战。
You're on a path in the woods.
Ah.
Fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp.
但是还是一样有镜子啊。
Field. Oh ho ho ho! The circle's getting smaller.
猎物的声音，我们多了一个猎物的声音。
Running isn't an option anymore.
我们非战斗不可。
Fight.
我是猎物，他是猎人。 对啊，他每次都会赢呢。
Great. So obviously you've already been here. How many times? This is our third? No wonder things have fallen apart. That can't be right.
I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted.
Let's just say the only furniture of note is a bent metal table. A pristine. We take it. Okay, sure. You take.
我们是直接拿了吗？我们是直接拿了，我们连选要不要拿的机会都没有。
The princess. This feels right. That's right. We've got.
And what if we never?
So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to? I'd love to get started. You walk through the door. But there isn't a door. It's just that
对
mirror
啊，镜子就
again.
出现了。
There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you?
啊，就有镜子啊！啊，我看到就是镜子，就没有门
You
嘛
can。feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel.
靠近镜子。
Make your way to the door at the end of the room.
Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we'll look awful after dying twice.
别当公主是正常
Just
人，
fumble for
选
the
非
hand
正常的
when
选
you're
项
done with it. I
是
don't
这样用的吗？
care
上去
what
吧
we，look like. I care.
把镜子擦干净。
You reach forward and place your hand, and the mirror's gone. How surprising. It was never there. Just an illusion.
镜子本来就不在，是个幻象。猎物的声音这样讲哦。
Just a step. You step forward, but you don't get a chance.
反正是平滑的金属，所以我直接滑了下来。
They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom. Your body tumbles onto the basement floor, and the form of the
这次公主
princess
跟上次
comes
差不
into
多
view,
，OK， 好，但是
standing
感觉还
at a
是很会
distance.
骗人的。
She gives you a wry smile.
Hi. It looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb
我
anymore.
也就不该，他直接不跟我装傻了
But
啊
don't！worry about how
上次
bad you
表现
did
有多
last
差，
time.
这别介上次表现有多差，
That's
这是有趣之处啊！
Fun for her, maybe. I didn't like dying all over again.
Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only actually does nothing bad has plenty bad has come. The past is your eternal
哦，靠呀！
cut short
哦
by the wet
哦
slicing meat.
哦，等一下，他直接这样争夺铁链的哦，
Twin blades glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms
太哈扣了吧！
her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose. and she
太哈扣了吧！有人是这样子来藏武器的
You're
吗
not？going to make me walk over to you.
你要我自己去
aren't
找
you?
你是不是？
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
我来跟他玩一下哦，我们得和他战斗。我觉得我们比力量会输，所以我决定用口才来解决他。我来试试跟他调情，他的手臂可以变刀刃，我们不行，我要跑了。我要跟他打，面对上头我们也不害怕，杀掉我们就算他赢的，对吧？那我们就想一步杀掉自己。如果我们先自杀，以上点子都很烂，所以我们要构思更好的办法啊！我还可以有更好的办法。干，你不能够让我重新选择一次，哎，哦。如果是正常状况下，我应该选择2，就是用口才调情了，好调情。
Now, I've tolerated quite a bit from you. but
拜托，
this is
别试图色诱公主，她这样杀了你啊！
Please don't
哦
try romancing the princess. She wants to kill you.
如果
She's
不阻止
going
她的话，
to
就会毁
end
灭
the
世
world
界。
if you don't stop her. Yeah, do we have to flirt with the murderous monster? I'd rather not.
It's not like
I'm fine with it.
我知道你有杀过人，但没有人说过你多漂亮吗？我终于了解你的感觉了。我喜欢你，我是觉得我觉得恋爱，或许我们可以在约会的时候把话讲开。在你要把我刺死之前，要不要请我吃晚餐呢？给他一个挑逗的眼神，给他一个挑逗的眼神。
The look. The look. We've all used it.
Yeah, do you not know about the look?
Even I know about the look.
连崩溃的声音都跑出来了。
The princess, the look, and a rosy blush.
公主脸红了！
Princess's cheeks.
天哪，居然是有用的吗？
Unbelievable.
哇塞！
Oh, is that how it is? Yeah, okay, I feel that. I like you too. Neat.
他也喜欢我，他说他喜欢我，太扯了吧？对啊，这情况他会觉得太扯了吧？我还是会杀了你啊！但我们的死是两情相悦成分在。
At least she likes us.
从来没有人喜欢过我。
Still glowing in her cheeks. The princess closes the door. She skewers you.
哦，我又死了。
Ow. What worthwhile romance doesn't hurt at least a little bit? What matters is that she likes us.
这个公主好
She's
哈
even said as
扣。
much. Oh, a new one of us.
有新人加入谁
I
啊
thought？ that only happens when we die.
我以为我们死了才有新人，我们死了吗？
You're on a... No, you're in a... Where
Huh?
the hell are you?
I think we're dead.
我觉得我们死了。崩溃的声音。
Stop saying dead, all of you. This is all horribly wrong. How many times
你来过几次？我来过很多次了，板板。
This is for. No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her. As long as we keep moving. We'll win her heart.
我们现在开始攻略，哇，看怎么说变变态魔力啊！我上一轮还在变成神跟怪物的他打架，现在我开始要变厉，要跟双手皆是刀刃的女公主谈恋爱吗？
Come on, show me something new.
来吧，我看一下啊，我们要和他战斗。我先承认用口才呀，他的手臂可以变成刀，但是我们只能跑。我们要让他捅我们，面对伤痛我们也不会主动。如果我们不去感受疼痛，他也就伤不了我们了。当我们不会痛，他就伤不到我。杀掉我们就算了，我们要先所以我们要先一步杀掉自己，我们自杀。其他点子，计划并未奏效，他再次杀了你，又一次。
None of this is working. Think. Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. You just have to hit her
又
hard.
直嚎的声音呢。
She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
其实有你适时的自己啊。
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you
我死了还是
anywhere.
回到原地啊，
That didn't do much of
就
anything.
自杀也没有用。
We're tougher than I thought. Just panic. Flee.
逃跑的声音，
Skewers you.
他还是死掉了。
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
这样违反了规则。
Doesn't matter. Okay, but she's going to kill this body either way.
弹幕的声音呢？
So stop feeling what is.
居然又出现一个弹幕的新声音呢？
Ooh, not bad.
See? We're getting better.
我们有进步了。好，
Okay, yeah. That was a good. Let's appeal to her better nature.
我们试着让他良心发现吧。哦，
I'm sure she'll listen.
他可以讲投机的声音，我们还有投机的声音哦。
Skewers you. We're getting close to. You're right. One last time. That's all we need. And then everything goes dark.
啊，我突然死了吗？我刚刚不是前面已经死好几次都没有那个吗？没事吗？第4章，我还第一次讲第4章哎。
We're on a, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel.
现在超多声音在跟我讲话了，我就有点
Oh, what
又
if?
多了一个叛逆的声音哦。
Throw it out the window. Over my dead body.
哇，这游
That
戏
won't be very hard.
这游戏很强哎，我觉
Died
得
a lot. But I can't say I mind it.
现在起码有7、8个吧。
Besides, what better way to die so very many times?
痴情的声音，
Hands of a beautiful
哦，这是恋爱的声音，
creature. I can think of a better.
怀疑的声音，
Eh,
弹
they're
幕
all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die?
恐慌的
Don't
声
want
音
to。accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is. How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time. Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter. with our star-crossed lover. Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only it's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement.
啊，又是他，又是那个双手是刀刃的公主。 上次杀了你之后，你不是没有马上出现吗？嗯。
I thought I'd actually done it.
我以为陈忠刚已经剁了。
So many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait, and not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say...
口技的这种看一下啊，我们来听看他的新的东西是什么，来吧，
Here we go.
来喽，啊。
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts.
哦哦哦啊！公主，停下来！你干嘛？我的发
beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit!
哦，世界好玩！
Gorgeous.
Absolutely
公
divine.
主，公主，
Behold the perfect woman.
哦，
Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful.
她是一个刀子人呢。
Alive.
哇，这怎么还没死啊？
Beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. She doesn't even have a back anymore.
她已经没有后背，我们要怎么背刺她？
This is all just a.
We're screwed.
Narrator,
放空脑袋。
Happened? It's so quiet.
哦，突然好安静哦，让旁白安静。
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
哦，他应该认真看到我了。没有任何动作，而是你自行移动。你接近公主，她出了攻击你，但你在击中之前，
You're
在击中，我说我闪开了，我变强了。我专注的战斗进入了无我的境界。哦，我们打的有来有回。我看一下，我越发投入这个人，心跳越来越快，仿佛扑了一个啊，破绽出现了，我可以刺到那颗心脏了吗？ 我该离开记忆的回哦，靠近镜子啊，这张镜子注视着镜子的你，看看里面有什么。你发现这就来到了这个项目，哦，这是接近他，又是这个家伙。这次的确比较不一样一点，我更完整了一点。
Is a child. I'm sorry. The vessels.
这下怎么做才会结束啊？透过你带给我的每份礼物，我
I cannot tell you what, but in this moment. If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. You will have your rest.
我必须透过一次又一次的跟公主这样子，然后来累积她这样的形态，然后让她变完整。我可以破坏我的躯体跟攻击形体耶。攻击会怎么样？破坏了又会怎么样？我在这个状况下杀死我自己会如何？攻击，没有任何效果。那如果我破坏我自己呢？ 我没有
There's
死，
nowhere for you to be.
我只能够
I respect it.
让他删除我的记忆，然后我们重新再来一 round。
I would be.
这应该是公主收集游戏没有错。
This do not mourn her. There is still much to be seen. Gifts. My joy is in seeing what my. I will long for your. We will meet again.
又回到了公主与
You're on a path in the woods. You're here.
我如果我就直接走了，转身离开。
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
好啦，你打死不退，我会进木屋看一下。好啦，我会进木屋和他谈谈，也许我不会真的杀了他吧。我的确有地方可以去，我不想去，我不想去那里才重要。我不要去木屋。不瞒你说，我很乐意接受，不发，我不想去那里。
I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to
英勇的声音
do is wrong.
英勇的声音
Better to wash our hands of this whole. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's. That's strange.
啊！我们又回来了吗
Looks？ like this path.
又一次转身离开。
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
对啊，我就不要管他吗？我就要离开，我就要离开。
I've already outlined the stakes.
我才不要杀死，很好，或许是人的该死。看一下，谁叫他们把我扔进森林，还要我替他们杀人？你不能擒了我，对你不能擒了我，我才不杀死公主嘞！
Killing is such a gauche phrasing and completely ignores the bigger picture.
因为他很邪恶。
Your task is to. But fine. You turn around. Oh, would you look at that?
我又回来了。我要继续徘徊在荒野中。
Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for
为什么
everyone
突然把
who
BGM
ever
弄
will.
掉了？
And here we go. As you trudge into the wood, at first it's little
哦，
flickers.
隐
out
约
of
可
the
以
corner
看
of your
见
eyes.
熟悉的木头
Glimpses
哦
of。familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize
哦，有
that
这么
the
多
flickers
小木屋哦。
aren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin.
哈，
Infinite
我想逃跑，我也做不到
paths
吗？
and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your response. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping
我就是进第2章了。The Stranger，
on a path in the wood. You're
Oh.
here to slay her.
如果不杀他，世界就会毁灭。那我就……如果无论如何我都得去小木屋，那我永远待在森林里面，永远待在森林里。说话好了，这次我一定去小木屋，是我这次去小木屋。上次这里没有墙啊，上次这里没有那些墙，你不能强迫我去小木屋。
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls. If he doesn't remember, I don't know. I think
叛逆的声音
he might have
哦
rolled off
所以如果我选逃跑，我会得到叛逆哦。
The world really did. The world hasn't ended.
说
You
谎，
know I can tell when you're lying, right? A warning before you go any further.
我要提醒你啊，公主会伪装啊，我知道这些东西，我知道。哦，我只能进去了。
Cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same. The only furniture of note is a plain the blade. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better, no, I've already. You can't just listen to me. If you're going to slay her, you've piqued my interest. Nothing, but just ignore the. How? I'm not going to. Yes, what you're saying. Okay, good.
拿起匕首好，我觉得还是要拿。
Take the blade from the. Okay, then how we the other? It really.
然后改变握法，反握匕首，我反握好了。
You switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations. Yes. Okay, it really doesn't matter.
靠近镜子，把匕首丢到窗外，把匕首丢到窗外。
Ah, yes, do it. Seriously. You throw the blade at the window. Glass shatter. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm not so sure. What's done is done.
然后镜子，
You won't be. There is you.
你为什么要说谎？
Exactly.
靠近镜子，
Walk up this
把镜子擦干净，
reach for
又是没有东西了
It's
哦。
gone. You know that taking the mirror
进入地
the
窖
door to the basement creaks
What
open,
the-
revealing a web of branching staircases all built from
哇，
unidentifiable
这次会面对怎样的公
materials.
主嘞？
Nothing here seems to belong. And the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get. Your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odor that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like
哦，这是不对耶。
But we already tried turning around. And what's that? The fate of the world? They'll still be.
走左边难走的路，走中间的路，走右边好走，走左边难走的
Step
路。
to the left. The path is cruel against your. The air around you grows cold. Your toes feel like you shudder against. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappeared. Physical sensations dull and then vanish. Consumption
啊
and
公主
betrayal.
嘞？
Skepticism and blind devotion. Rivalry and submission.
Are you just going to stand there?
哦，
What the hell was that?
哦，我们刚刚怎么了
What
啊
happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. The princess. Eyes bright, but otherwise shrouded in dark. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, you're here to... He's just being an ass. We remember.
我不知道哎，抱歉，我不知道怎么来这里的。
Yeah, I know. I've been watching you stare at me for a long,
你
long
盯着我看很
time.
久，我全部都看在眼里了。
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. I don't think she likes us. Wouldn't you be skeptical of someone stumbling in here if you... Those eyes, though. They're so... It's just deception.
It's okay. Don't worry. Sometimes I get lost here too.
在这个世界在崩解
As
吗？
the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her... We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. You said you... Does it matter? Yes, it matters. It seems to me, whatever you... Ooh, new plan. Let's see if we can make...
细节我们来看能不能让它增加数量吧。你叫什么名字？
You can address me. You can call me.
你的数量增加
What's
了。
that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin? There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment
哦，又
ago.
多一个嘞。
She fractures again. I don't like where this... Neither do I. How would we even do that? Where would always start by the one he made us? I wasn't the one who... Oh, come on, you told us to. Don't try to... Well, if I'd known... I don't think we're gonna be... Kind of hurts to think if it's...
我看一下，我在这里过得很奇怪，4分5裂的时候，你知道我经历，你知道我的经历是什么吗？我不知道，我看一下，我要在这里离开试着放他自由。我不知道你是什么，但我无法信任，我无法信任这里的一切，把公主留在地窖，后悔当时吧。这是什么选项啊？
What? Like you need me to hold your hand? We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so
不是让你不孤
terrifying
单，而
down
我也
here.
不孤单了啊
But！at least now you're not alone. I don't remember what it was like before I
是啊，
was
这
in
是
this
比这个
place.
公主开口嘞。
Why would I know what happened to you? Maybe it's because I'm dangerous. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other. Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here.
我是怪物啊！我离开这个地方，世界就会瞬间毁灭这个世界啊！
But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gone out of
你
hand.
还要我屠杀他？
If you're trying to do the
我
right thing, just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's...
只能选这个了吗？
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different.
轻盈的轻盈且自信的步伐
a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture.
我看到假如自己被撕裂，房间开始旋转
multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands.
你看，我突然有了匕首吗？
Strike her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her.
同时我在楼上，同时你在屠杀他。
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
Oh.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere.
你还要把这东西再捏回去哦。
Consequences? It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
我尽力而为。
There's that. What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful. He's just.
我萎缩，你萎缩，我萎缩了，这么快的吗？
I am a growing chorus of all of me, and I am a change. It's if
我感觉就
as easily these they will do not more my I will
就我觉得我是这轮我想要试试看，完全的对公主好，我没有想要杀了她。不发语的小木，
We're not going to go ignore him.
小木
The interior of the cabin, the blade.
直接进入地窖，我要把公主放
Daughter
了
the。base. Her voice
Hello?
is. Don't let it fool you.
我是来救你的，我没有来说谎，我是来救你的。
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down. Come downstairs.
我要仔细看看救了我的人。
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist. But she's beautiful.
对啊，我觉得她长得还算好看啊。
Threat to anyone. I am begging you to stay focused.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something. I hope you brought something to deal.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains,
别急，我们先聊聊。
Okay.
别急，我们先聊聊。我还可以回楼上拿匕首哎。我不敢相信他们，我真的不相信他们会一直管着你。我要带你离开，希望我不会让我为此而后悔。这个好了。
only making this more difficult. You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy. Far too
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
我没有钥匙。也许钥匙在楼上。
doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never.
我上楼看看钥匙好了。有其他我上楼看看有没有钥匙。
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut.
我被关起来了。
Locks. Is someone else here?
是不是开门？
But it's locked from the.
放出去。
You're here to slay the prince. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too,
对啊，
didn't
我也被关在这里啊，对啊
There's a
啊
slight panic.
啊啦
The princess
啊啦，
is
公主
forced.
只剩我跟你了，怎
If
么
I could
办
just？get out of these chains, I know we could force
如
our
果
way
能
out
挣
of
脱，
here
我有把握可以
together.
跟你一起脱身。
She barely hesitates
Oh,
before raising
oh,
her arm to her
他开始
mouth,
咬自己的
her
哦
teeth
哦
tearing through her limb
哦，
with the determination
我
of
觉
a
得这个
trapped
选项
wolf.
怪怪的。
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you.
干，
The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs.
来自楼上
You're
的，
not
突
sure
然
how
有
it made
突然
its way
匕首
down
丢
here,
下来
but there's a
了，
time to strike. It's now. Or we could use it to free her.
或者我
You won't like what happens if
啊，
you do
这我
that.
都已经当好人当到底了，拯救公主，哇哦！
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. To cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes
哦，
little
好了
effort to
好了
cut
好了
through
好
the
了
bone
好
of
了，
her
至少
arm.
让你算是一种挣
Her
脱
limb
了。
falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything?
哦
It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
哦，
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
接近上锁的门。
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body
我
steps
高举了
forward
匕，
and
我高举我的
raises the
匕首
blade.
啊！我不要刺他呀！
This isn't fair. You can't
Ah.
just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
这里面有个警告公主，警告公主！
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
哦，抵抗旁白。
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you
他
and
把我
takes
他
the
把我匕首
blade
拿走
from
了，
your
你要干嘛？
infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh
他
and
是
sinew.
我
It is agony.
啊！
But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start whatever. She sinks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
为什么这个好人做到底的故事反而也蛮痛心的？哦，好痛！
Doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it?
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as
他
I
都为我
prefer
哭戏耶！
for things
哇，
to
这
go
个水汪汪
differently,
的泪
you
眼
can't。deny the reality of what's
哇
happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
第二张少女，
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path,
这种位置叫什么人格啊？
and in the basement of that
哦，我们
cabin,
直接
you're here to slay her.
哦，你这个混蛋，你完蛋了！我知道你的诡计。哦，你这个混蛋啊！
What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Yes, he didn't approve of us
诗
last
哦，
time.
我得到了诗情的声
We're
音
going
呢
to。save our beloved. We'll have to be sneaky about it.
Our beloved.
布莱克魔术啊，
Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess.
Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him.
What can I say?
没有爱的世界根本不值得拯救。
Oh,
哦
isn't worth
哦。我们假设我说的是实话，而且也算为什么我们要这样
Those
子
are？ two very different. Let's say for a moment that this really is. You died.
You
Well, not. Oh, I want.
I
I'm not going to ask. Anyway, would you? If it's the. Do you think that
she
conv?
我们看看这位公主好了。
People. Look. Oh.
calling?
Oh, but. I've told you not to sound like a. She just.
Maybe it's her.
Sure, it's her. Great.
我们想办法把她救出来了。
That's right. You can't stop all of us.
对，不可能阻止我们所有声音的
We're
人
going。to sweep her off her feet.
Are these really the sorts of people you'd like?
好，前往木屋，我们去救，这次我们一样要救出公主
Before
啊
you！go any further, she will lie.
We already told you.
I think we've all.
I do.
Sure, you don't pay their bicker.
前往木屋，前往木屋，我们要这次要把公主救出来。我要当个痴情的男
The
人
interior。of the cabin is
又有镜子
clean
了，
and
为什么
the
永远都有
blade
镜
is
子
your
啊？
implement.
先靠近镜子好，这次我就不拿匕首好了。
You read, but there was a mirror a second.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know.
There,
Is it?
maybe.
进入
The
地
door
下，
to the basement creaks open.
哇，天哪，突然变得好浪漫哦！
Stairwell.
这游戏真的哦，
Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers.
到
in
底
the
做
light
多少
of the
种公主
porches
出来啊？
positioned along the, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft
Hello? Is someone there?
啊她声音变得更轻柔了。
It's somehow even more beautiful than last time.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love.
她的魅力是操纵人心的一
Walk
环。
down the stairs and lock eyes with the
她为什么她身材
princess.
变得更
There's
好
a
一点了
heavy？chain
她是不是
around
奶
her
变大
wrist,
了？
binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you.
You know she can't hear you.
She may not be.
Oh, your spirits.
It's you. My dad.
是我最潇洒勇士，我还担心你不回来了。
She wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the waiting for you to come back.
That's right, villain. And you,
Well, she killed her.
only because he made us try and kill her.
And you've died before. Now, hold on.
你上次杀了我，我感到痛心，为什么你要这么做？我身上没有刀子，我得再次帮你切断你的手吗？我对上次发生的事抱歉。直接拯救公主。
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to
Don't you see how dainty her hand?
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just... If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already?
Because we've yet to present her with her freedom.
I'm not sure I...
Would you rather believe me?
I think I'd...
Ah, so one of us has. Then let me show.
No. I can't let you
我不
do
如
that.
果你再
If
向
you
公
take
主跨
another
出一
step
步，我
towards
就
the princess, I'll... You'll
哦，
take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain tight.
You wouldn't.
哇
I，
这
would.
旁白开始威胁我了。
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feet. You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings.
我这样就把她救出来了，这样就把她救出来了，这么简单吗？
I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you. There's no life more worth.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you.
你是不
Thank
是想
you
要
so
杀了我了？
much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
这是一个好结局吧
You？ had
是
a
吗？
weapon, one slip of the wrist, and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
你想做什么？我们要离开这里。你想
Let
做
me
什么？
guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave.
我想离开吧，
And I
然后
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection, and then she shrugs.
耸了耸
I
肩
don't。know.
我不知
What do you
道
want to do?
你想要什么呢？你想做什么呢？我希望你能说出你想做的事情。你一定有想做的事。你想毁灭世界吗？我想离开这里，剩下可以在那个。如果你想离开，我们就走吧。我希望你能说出你
I
想做
just
的事
want to
情
make you。happy.
它只能让我开
You
心。
can't just want to make us happy.
It makes sense to me.
That's all I want.
哇，为什么这个音越来越怪了？什么时候让你感到开心呢？
I just want to make you happy.
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you.
但你需要有自己想做的事情。你才刚认识我，我不可能，你不能这样说，你的快乐建筑在我身上。
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on.
啊，
This
为什么画风越来越
isn't
单调
right.
了？哎，我的
See the problem here?
我的公主怎么画风越来越简单了？
You don't have to act like it.
看这就是爱情吗？
Oh.
哦
Is
哦，
that
干，
really
他
what
回来，
you
他回来，
want?
他回来了。
Her eyes dart uncomfortably.
I guess we could do that.
Oh, at least she's not normal again. Can't you? But she can't. No. It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we... As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise. Oh. What? You sure
what
you
am I?
want to know? You plunge your nails into...
我看
What are you doing?
我把我自己的心跑出来吗？
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done. It will be soon.
等一下，
Don't mind
Oh.
my sacrifice.
Oh. I see. You're trying to tell me something. It's beautiful.
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your beating heart, and then everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
Happy ever after。
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, excuse me? We've been here, but not that he... Right on... I can't... Okay, we know the... Yeah. Oh. Bonus for... I'm not saying it's a... I'm going to... Before you, there's...
用匕首重要吗？我们上一回不用匕首，但再上一回是用公主匕首杀了我们，所以没有要提那面镜子吗？
I've just been preoccupied with
恐慌的声音
everything else going on.
正义成完
The fact that we can... Is that what happened to you? Lucky for you. Wonderful. Moving on, you said that... Mirror or no mirror, the door to the basement... I see your point. Yes, but it's not there, is it? I don't actually know. I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. It has...
匕首是完整的结构一环。靠近镜子
Across
吧
the，room. Well, shall we have...
伸手
Reach。forward, your figures, and then you push the door. It would seem that this... If the princess... Well, if... No, you... That is... I don't know. We have to move... No. Her voice.
You're home.
你回来啦！晚上准备好，他怎么讲的像是我妻子一样
Ah!
啊！
Why? That is the problem. And don't...
千万不要碰食物。继续上楼。
This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torch. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right
哦，
at her
匕首是他
heart.
刀，是他的项链，是不
Everything
是
is？ falling back into place. Or isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a twist. There has to be...
You're here. Now we can start being happy together.
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings.
Is Isn't that better?
这是什么地
It's our
方？
happy ending.
这是我们的幸福
Just
结
like you
局
asked for.
哦。
It's Oh, right, dinner.
The flames burn
哦，对哦哦，我们晚餐出现
and
了。
dives across the table.
Go ahead and dig in.
Remember what I said. Oh, but it looks so amazing, and I'm not sure about anything. And that's for what it's worth. I
拒绝他的款待好了。
Oh. But you were the one who asked about it. Sorry, that was snippy. It's okay. It's okay. This is fine. This isn't fine. This isn't fine at all.
as the words leave her mouth.
What the
the
fuck?
torches
啊
on the wall
我只是说不
sputters
吃晚餐你就坏掉了
and
吗
goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence, but maybe not. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other three torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
是你熄灭火炬吗？我不认为你做错，我只是说出内心话。只是火炬不必加以理会，反正光线充足。我们接着要做什么？
I don't know. Maybe we could play
Play-
a game.
玩什么游戏？
Yeah, that's
The flames roar, and the shadow comes dancing across the table.
we can probably work together to figure
Yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What are we being? You're overthinking it. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between
Oh, I think we got the rules
我
wrong.
们似乎弄错规则了
as。time
啊
passes. Hey!
Oh, you won.
Time passes.
Oh,
There is a long pause, and the board does.
this isn't fun anymore.
It's never going to stay. You don't need me to tell. The princess visibly
Oh.
panics as another torch sputters.
Wait. Maybe this is just
他想
too
啊，他想
easy.
疯狂的偷我看，可是我不开心。
Yeah. The
哦，
game's just. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, and so you do. But then you get used to the addition. More pieces are added. The feelings flare. The feelings fade. Winning and losing become nothing but
I'm out of ideas.
as the words leave the princess's mouth, another torch goes out. Again, the remaining flames burn brighter,
哇，
and the shadow
这
dances faster.
好，
I'm happy. I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
可以觉得小安，
This is. It's him, isn't it?
他把我们困在这里。
Who? The lovesick one, the one from last time. He's not.
嘿，接着呢，我们要继续问他吗？接着呢，
I
我们可以单纯陪伴彼
Princess
此。
smiles. Come on. There. And wait. We live in a. And wait. You keep saying. And wait.
I can't do this anymore.
不能这样下去了。哦，怎么了？
Oh no. The third torch sputters out.
哇，
The princess's
如果所有的
shadow
火都没了，会
dances
怎么办？
furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left.
对啊，
What's going
啊，
to
这
happen
熄
when
灭
it
之后会
goes
发生
out?
什么事呢？你觉得发生什么事呢？我相信，如果你可以在世上随心所欲的话，你要做什么？你会选择做什么呢？
I think
他想在星空下
I'd
跳
like
舞
to，dance under the stars.
That sounds.
But there aren't any stars.
As she
你得
says
离开
that,。the shadow rushes forward and tightens its grip on her wrists.
I'm not happy here.
我这里不快
I
乐
don't think I
哦。
ever was.
The princess sobs,
火炬熄灭了
burying，her face in her hands as the final torch blows
公主
out.
开始哭了。为什么你要哭？你会知道你为什么哭？
She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
I don't know. It feels like an important part of me is gone, but I'm still here.
The princess's eyes.
Well, we can't sit here.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she.
Do you still care about me?
看，好难拒绝哦！就是你前面杀了我这么多次啊。
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I still care about you, too, so Maybe this wasn't all bad, but I don't think this
但我认为我
place
们
is
不该
for
在，
us
我们
anymore.
这地方不再适合，我们该离开
I
了。
think we need to go.
朝他伸手。
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold and a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world?
对啊，我们离开世界不会灭亡吗？
Does, if he's telling the truth. Yes, well, really was just think what you will. You and the princess don't exchange
我们要离开了吗？
words, you
我们终于要
descend
和平的
the
离开
stairs
了
to
吗？
the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Jen, he's really gone, isn't he? Yeah. There's...
The stars are so beautiful.
哦，这个结局好暖心哦！天啊，
I meant it when I said I wanted to dance.
最后他笑容里面只有真挚的爱。你引他转圈啊，手臂上几些人在虚无中联系你们。
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice.
外面很美，虽然有
Maybe
些
it's a
冷。
little cold outside.
She's gone. Is that a mirror? What is that supposed? Can't he?
你分解了，我又啊？
There's a world beyond. It doesn't.
哦，
Do not. No. They're mine. I am one. You've already. I will see you. What textures will you weave? If you close that box, will you be? You'll always come back to the box.
啊，他又要重新把我游戏关掉，然后我要重开一次，是不是？哎呦，又要重开一次，等一下，我再重开一次。游戏
You
啊，
have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side. These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the next time I see you, I will be here.
哦，
You're on a path in the
等一下
woods.，
好，我们今天先玩到这边。哦，我先拉个晚安先。我觉得是好游戏耶，之后我可能，哇，累了，我之后可能还会再开来玩，或试一下再多玩一些结局这样。但这是这真的是一个好游戏耶，天啊，好好玩哦。好了，今天就先到这边了，谢谢大家来看台啊，大家辛苦了。哎呦，对啊，感觉可以收集很多公主，应该还有很多我没有发掘到的东西。应该说还有太多我没有发掘到的东西，还有太多可能性可以去探索了。我们等一下去阿鼠那边啊，不知道我看他开台。等一下哦。好，我们去看看他在干嘛。好，就先到这边。咩晚安，山晚安，丸子晚安，然后夜魂晚安，大家晚安晚安。我觉得游戏很好玩啦，但是我觉得可能玩久会有点闷或有点小累，毕竟它剧情其实太复杂了。其实你要了解，是真的要花一点时间这样子。 好，那我们就今天就先到这边了。蝌蚪晚安，晚安，晚安。那我今天就先到这边啦。